All right, whenever you're ready.
Hi everybody, my name is Mizuki. I go by Kiki. Today I would like to talk about chemical pesticides. Have you guys ever wondered what the point of buying expensive organic food is? Some of our classmates have stated that there is no proof that organic food is more nutritious than non-organic food in our past class. So really, what is the point of buying organic food? Today I would like to approach to the topic from a different point of view. My claim is the use of chemical pesticides on crops is harmful to our society. Before we get to my supporting claims, what is chemical pesticides? They are used on crops to get rid of the thousands of weeds, species, harmful insects, and plant diseases that can afflict crops. Now, I would like to prove you that the use of chemical pesticides on crops is harmful to our society because, first of all, chemical pesticides are harmful to human body. Second, they are harmful to the environment. And third, they are harmful to the tender ecosystem. So back to my first supporting claims. Chemical pesticides are harmful to human body. Eating commercially grown foods increases the exposure to pesticides. Taking pesticides into our body increases the risk of breast cancer. According to the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, growing evidence shows that pesticides found in commercially grown food are linked to some cases of breast cancer. Pesticides also affect on nervous system. According to the Department of Natural Resources and Environment, pesticides can affect nervous system, which causes excess salivation, stomach pain, vomiting, constipation, and diarrhea. And pesticides increase the chance of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is ADHD. According to an article published on CNN.com, children who are frequently exposed to a small amount of a type of pesticides found on commercially grown fruit and vegetables are more likely to have ADHD than those who have been exposed less often. Exposure to these pesticides has also been linked to behavior and learning problems in children. Pesticides are not only harmful to our body, but also harmful to the environment. Pesticides pollute soil. According to the website brighthub.com, when pesticides enter the soil, they kill the tiny microorganisms present in the soil that are important for keeping the soil healthy. As soil conditions become worse, farmers compensate by adding chemical fertilizers to enhance crop growth. The poor soil condition results in nutritionally compromised crops of inferior quality. The contamination of the soil also leads to the pollution of water. In a recent study conducted by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, 46 pesticides were found in groundwater in 26 states as a result of normal agricultural applications. Cleanup of groundwater contaminated by pesticides often is impossible, and the contamination may last for many years. Most farm families rely on their own wells, and groundwaters supplying the wells may contain pesticides that have been leached from the fields by rain, melted snow, and irrigation water. So now we know that the pesticides affect on our body and the environment. I would also like to state that chemical pesticides are harmful to the tender ecosystem. Pesticides obviously kill insects and the weeds and the other plants because that's the purpose of the pesticides. Pesticides can also kill animals because they do affect on animal health. Pesticides are proven to weaken immune system of animals. According to the Global Health Healing Center, several studies have shown that pesticides alter the immune system in animals and make their bodies unable to kill bacteria and viruses, which can lead to the animal's death. In conclusion, the use of chemical pesticides on crops is harmful to our society. It can damage our body, the environment, and the ecosystem. Chemical pesticides might be the fastest and the easiest way to control pests, but it comes at a great risk. Thank you.
Okay, the proposition's clear. There's a good layout of what the supporting structure is going to be. Well, I think the definitions that you have are okay. I think you need to tell us a little bit more about the degree of controversy. You make a reference to an earlier speech where people had some dismissive things to say about food that was raised organically and how that's not really important. I guess that suggests a controversy there. I don't remember that speech specifically, so that's it would be better if you made a particular reference to who it was who said that, and we had a specific quote or example that we could use to contrast this. But the idea that there's some controversy there is suggested a little bit by that. There's a reasonable preview, like I said. I was a little confused because I don't see how the second and the third points are different. The environment and the ecosystem, they basically sound like they're the same thing. So why there's a subdivision there doesn't really make a lot of sense. But at least you do have a structure that's easy for the audience to follow. There's a lot of evidence in the presentation. Most of it talks about what the risks would be to exposure. I think anybody recognizes that human beings who are exposed to pesticides, there's going to be a potential problem. What's missing in your argument is information that says human beings do in fact get that kind of exposure. I don't know how regular it is. I don't know how frequent it is. I don't know what the level of exposure is required in order to produce this harm. On the last point, when you mention well water potentially being contaminated, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's probably the most likely place where you're going to have the most extreme effects. And I was kind of wondering where there was some data talking about incidents of people on farms who are hurt by exposure to this, or the animals that are dying from this sort of thing. That last point, excuse me, it was the earlier point that you had the well water on. The third point, it just talks about the animals dying, and I'm going, well, do we have any numbers? I imagine if a cow ate a bunch of DDT, it would die. But I'm not exactly sure that pigs, cows, ducks, chickens, whatever kinds of animals that might be exposed to the pesticides are being exposed that way. It implies that the animals are in some way connected, next door to, in the vicinity of, or they're eating it in their food. And maybe that's the exposure level risk that we have, but I didn't really get much detail on that, so I thought that was a little bit of a problem. There's a lot of reading. I know it's probably a little bit different with some of the language issues here, but you do want to practice a little bit more, so it sounds like you know the material a little bit better, and I thought you had a pretty solid summary as well. All right, thank you.